Have y'all caught up with episode 4 of the Vampire Lestat? Because clearly everything is beginning to truly fall apart, isn't it? So the first 3 episodes were pretty intense, but feels like episode 4? Seems like episode 4 is shattering a bit of this timeline. It seems like Lestat is getting pretty close to the point of no return, isn't he? So let's talk about the absolute chaos that just went down. So obviously, he is now playing with fire, and he doesn't care if the world is gonna burn with him. If you haven't been keeping up, hit the follow button because I'm doing weekly episodes on the Vampire Lestat breakdowns, and this is episode 4. So we picked up in this episode where the cliffhanger from episode 3, which was astounding and explicit and very character arc explanatory. Lestat is no longer a boy from Auvergne. He isn't just a theater kid dreaming about doing exciting theatrics. He's now fully dealing with the raw, terrifying reality of his new existence and detailing it all for him. The atmosphere is suffocatingly gothic and I absolutely love it. The way that they have just brought the shadows to life, it's as if they're surrounding and closing in on him, wrapping him up in their obscure embrace. What I love most about it is how they handled the sensory overload moment. How he can hear everything through the walls and it's like football fields away. The heartbeat of birds 3 streets over. He can see microscopic dust mites in the air like they're floating stars. And beneath all of that beauty, there's a deep, relentless hunger. They haven't shied away from the horror of that either. Meanwhile, there's the tension that's building with other characters, such as Armand and Daniel Malloy. And let's not forget about Gabriella. And always in the background is the overbearing shadow of what happened with Magnus. It's easy to see how many dynamics around him are just fracturing and fraying at the seams. And in the midst of all of that, we get this stunning, heartbreaking dialogue where he's just basically trying to hold on to his humanity. But yet every word seems like it's just lined in venom, dripping with the poison of his bloodthirst. And between the lines of all of that is this despair and isolation. Like he's been completely cut off from the mortal world now, but you can still feel his desperation radiating. And then it comes to the absolute peak of the episode. I think that everyone is going to be talking about for sure because of the gothic horror and the psychological tension. That scene between him and Gabriella where he talks about hearing her through the walls was... I don't even know how to describe it other than shocking in all caps and yet really psychologically deep into revealing some of his issues. And in all of that, the dialogue, it's chaotic, it's rhythmic, it's seductive and violent, and yet it just happens in a flash of a second. And all of these little heartbeats of terror and despair and melancholy that have been accumulating in his life, leading up to that manuscript there in his hand, is essentially unfiltered tragedy. Absolute, complete horror. Leaving this man who feels completely misunderstood, wants justice, and feels like he needs to be vindicated for the fabrications that have been published about him. So yeah, I'm curious. Have you been watching? Do you have any theories on what's going to happen next or where episode 4 might lead us when it comes to episode 5 and what we might see this upcoming Sunday? I'm curious to hear what you thought to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this Lestat dialogue rolling, shall we?